Hi, Stephen here, and welcome to Worldview Trekking. Today we're going to be reviewing the Lanshan 2-person trekking pole tent. Once again, I'm not sponsored by Lanshan to make these videos. I'm not paid by them to make these videos, and the tent I own, I paid for with my own money. Let's begin with the specs. The Lanshan 2-person tent is an outdoor ultralight camping tent that retails for roughly $100 to $150 depending on the retailer. It is a 15D sil nylon rodless tent, which weighs 2.55 pounds, which is 1,155 grams. Your tent will arrive in the compression sack you see here, which can compress the tent down to a quite small size, which makes it quite useful for packing into your tent. The sack itself can be used for food or other purposes as well, but it is quite adequate for the tent. The fly sheet is made from 15D nylon with a waterproof rating to 5,000 milliliters, and the inner tent is made of 20D nylon with high tensity mesh. The storm doors can be tied back to have one storm door open, as you see here. The doors can be tied back to allow for airflow through your tent, making for an all-around view. Both storm doors can be closed on both sides of the tent to make for a complete and warmer night with no storm airflow. The vestibules are quite large, created by the storm doors, which can be tied open or tied down. Both storm doors zip together, as you see here, are quite well made and run the length of the tent. Both storm doors lock together with the guy lines that are provided. As well, the storm doors, as mentioned earlier, can be tied back with the Lanshan loop and eye connectors. The storm doors also have Velcro closures and a zipper to hold the storm doors in place. All four corners of the tent are held in place with tent pegs. The inner mesh of the tent is held in place with hook and eye supports. The corner guy lines are elastic and adjustable. Guy lines on the side of the tent provide for extended headroom. All guy lines are adjustable with a special designed guy lines. The sides of the tent are expanded for, of course, the additional headroom as well. Trekking pole cups have additional supports to give extra strength to the tent if it is needed. The bottom of the tent, the trekking poles have supports to attach the tent to the pole. All attachments of the tent are reinforced. Both guy line and extensions are all reinforced for extra strength. The tent has two large mesh doors. The Lanshan tent has two zipper doors on each side of the tent, making it easy to access. The zippers easily close and open. There are multiple mesh supports on the inside of the tent to support the inner tent. The inside corners of the tent are reinforced. The outside of the tent can be removed, allowing for greater airflow. The ceiling supports as well support the internal mesh tent. All stitching is well done and tight and neat. The tent as well has two large internal mesh pockets. The internal mesh tent attaches where the trekking poles fit inside the cup to support the tent. There's ample headroom with a 45-inch trekking pole setup. Ample headroom. My 71-inch frame has plenty of room to lie down from head to toe inside the tent. There's multiple ceiling attachments for hanging lights and other forms of gear. The inside of the tent does have reinforcements where the trekking poles are in place. All seams, as you can see, are double sewn, both up the sides and along the edges of the tent. The large mesh door provides plenty of view and keeps out the bugs. With the rain cover removed, you can see in clear nights with unobstructed view. The entire tent is enclosed. There are no openings, just the two mesh doors. This tent is similar to other mesh door tents on the market with the two trekking pole design. The mesh is clear and very transparent. The trekking poles are reversed with the point end placed upward when the tent is used without the rain fly. The flooring, as you can see, is of a 20D nylon. The tents do come with extra guy lines with the special hook and eye design for the tent. So let's cover some of the pros of the Lanshan 2-person trekking pole tent. My second pro for the Lanshan 2-person tent is the weight. For a trekking pole, double-walled tent that weighs 2.5 pounds, that is an excellent weight. For a trekking pole tent, for anything for a through hike, a day hike, or overnight hike, that is an excellent weight for what you're getting in this tent. My third pro for the Lanshan 2-person trekking pole tent is just in the title. It is a trekking pole tent. If you're going to take trekking poles on your hike, why take extra cords and poles and straps to hold up your tent for you? If you've got the trekking poles with you, you might as well use them. So my third pro for the Lanshan 2-person trekking pole tent is the fact it is a trekking pole tent. My fourth pro for the Lanshan 2-person tent is the fact it is an extremely light double-walled tent. Other expensive tents on the market are single-walled tents, which give you a lighter tent to carry on the trail, but due to have the condensation issues that the Lanshan 2-person double-walled tent does not have. So it costs you less, it weighs a little bit more, but it's a double-walled tent that solves the condensation problems. Going to my first con with the Lanshan 2-person tent. Now, the first con I have is it is a foreign-made tent that does sometimes cause you problems with shipping, and I've seen a lot of problems with returns, that you have just those struggles getting your money back and getting your tent back to its original producer. So for the shipping problems I've seen caused, I'd say that's definitely a con for this tent that's made overseas. My second con for the Lanshan 2-person tent is that it is not seam sealed or tape sealed. So all those extra delicacies you have to go through to have a waterproof tent you have to do yourself that a more expensive tent would have done already. So for the second con, it is not taped or seam sealed. You have to do all that yourself. The third con I have for the Lanshan 2-person tent is that the ground fasteners are not always as user-friendly as you'd think they would be. Your guy lines for the corners and for your trekking poles are not always as user-friendly as you'd hope they would be, but for the price I would hope to be a little more user-friendly, but it is not. So my third con for the Lanshan 2-person tent is some of the lesser user-friendly guy lines and holdouts for the tent. And for those that are curious, you can also purchase the Lanshan 2-person tent or similar models to it on Amazon.com. I'll leave some links in the box below. Overall, I would definitely recommend the Lanshan 2-person tent for anyone that's wanting a light and relatively inexpensive hiking tent. If you want trekking poles to use with your tent, you're taking them along already. You only want to spend more than about $150 for your tent. The Lanshan 2-person tent is the tent for you.